Arrgh! Hello, this is Mr. Hornby 83 with another Mr. Hornby 83. It is Sunday, so it's review day. Just want to do something silly. Please don't come into play too much in the Logan movie. But I'm reviewing Logan movie. I gave you guys the option to pick. Nobody really picked, so I went ahead and said I'll just do Logan. And plus, I haven't had a chance to watch last night's Doctor Who yet, or Gundam or anything. I watched all the other Toonami anime last night, but I didn't get to watch Gundam. But, alright, so Logan. Now, first off, let me start out by saying this is the best Wolverine movie out of the trilogy. And that's pretty bad that the last one is the best one. But the thing about it is, I think Jackman really wanted this one to be the best one because it is his last run as Logan. And with the way X-Men Apocalypse was received last year, I'm sure, Hugh Jackman wanted to make sure this movie doesn't get received like X-Men Apocalypse. But a lot of it had to do with the success of Deadpool last year as well. So, anyway, so the movie starts out, you see Logan drunk in his car, sleeping, and then some guys are trying to take his rims and all that, and he gets up, he's telling them, you can't strip those rims or something like that, and they start shooting him, and he falls down like he's dead. They're like, oh, he's weak and all that. Well, also he pulled out the claws, I think, but they shoot him, then he gets up, pretty much wipes all of them out except for one, because one gets away, and he's like mad and all that. So then you see him, I believe the next day, and he's picking up a customer to go to a funeral, and he's at a funeral, and he's drinking real bad and that. I didn't know drinking on the job was allowed, but especially for a limo driver who freaking drives people around for a living. But anyway, while he's there, this lady comes up to him and says, "Wolverine, I noticed you. I knew it was you. I knew it was you." And she's trying to tell him something. Pretty much trying to tell him about his clone Lorna, even though they called her his daughter in the movie. But we all know X-23 is his daughter, or not his daughter, his clone. I mean, she ends up being like a daughter to him because that's the closest thing to a kid he has. But anyway, he's telling her to get lost and all that. And then his customer's like, "Who's that?" And he's like a crazy lady. I think her name was Esmeralda or something like that. But he then goes on to, I think he takes a couple more ladies out. And one of them show him her boobs, but they were like real drunk in that. And then I think that was the last trip Logan did, and then he goes to his hideout out in the desert with Calabac and Xavier. But before that, he gets encountered by the main villain. Dang, I already forgot the guy's name. That's how memorable of a villain he was. Not really. But he's one of the Reavers. I'm sure his name will pop up while I'm doing this review. But anyway, he's telling Wolverine that he's looking for, Logan, that he's looking for a lady that took something from him, which X-23 Lorna. And Wolverine's like, "I didn't see her or anything." He tells him, "Hey, I know where you're hiding, Xavier." And his mind is, he's considered a weapon of mass destruction now. And we find out later why. But it's like, so then Wolverine, after he deals with Xavier and Calabac and that, and then you see that his wounds are taking longer to heal, and he can't even get one of his claws out. I think it's the middle one. He's like having to pull it out. It might have been that one. He had to pull it out to get it to come out all the way. And apparently that adamantium is poisoning him, and it's killing him and all that, which, wow. They really wanted it to... Pretty much everybody knows how the ending was going to happen. I mean, if you watch through the whole movie, you know what's going to happen to Logan anyway. But anyway, he meets up with Esmeralda again, because she, like, tells him that she needs to talk to him, and then he goes there, talks to her, and she's telling him about how he needs to take her and Lorna to this place called Eden, which is, when he looks at the comics later on in the movie, it looks a lot like a palace that Mr. Sinister would be in. But Mr. Sinister, unfortunately, isn't in this movie. And after I talk about the adventure starting, after I talk about the adventure starting, then I'll talk about some of my problems with the movie. But anyway, so Logan says, no, I'm not going to take you, this and that. I'm not going to take you to, I think it was frickin' Nevada or something like that. I can't remember the place. Yeah, I think it was somewhere in Nevada or something. Or close to Nevada. But anyway. And then he's doing something else. I forgot. I think he was getting Xavier's meds or whatnot. And then, man, I completely got this whole thing botched up. I should have did this last week. Fresh in my memory last week. But anyway. So she texts him and that, and then he comes back over there, and she's dead, and he can't find Lorna anywhere because the Reavers got to her, but he can't find Lorna, and he goes back to his hideout to get Xavier and Calabac. Well, no, actually, I don't think he didn't get to Calabac. He went there to get Xavier. He said he'll come back for Calabac, even though he's probably lying. Because, I don't know. But anyway, the Reavers come there because Lorna apparently got in the back of Logan's trunk. And she was there with Logan and all them. And Logan was going to leave her. Because, you know, Hugh Jackman sure did act a lot like he was in freaking Real Steel as a father, because he was not a very good father in this either. But, anyway, that's how the adventure starts. Now, let me get into some of my problems with the movie, and then I'll talk about, you know, what they find out about Eden, and why Xavier is considered a weapon of mass destruction and all that. Now, a lot of my problems with this movie was, honestly, I think the way the main bad guy went out was kind of anticlimactic. And, you know, a lot of, God, my mind is whack tonight, because I'm tired. But anyway, yeah, it was anticlimactic how they stopped the main villain. The fact that Sinister was supposed to be a part of this, really, and I guess they decided not to have Sinister in it, but I think the company that was funding them was Essex Corp. They're cloning all the mutants. They're trying to make superior ones. So I'm sure it was, God. Maybe I should freaking delete this video and just do it another day. Because I'm doing terrible tonight. Yeah. End this, delete it.